Hi there, it's Allie, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. So a lot of people are afraid of hospice, and I'm going to explain the reasons why you should not be. First of all, by the time a person gets referred to hospice, a lot of times they have endured many procedures. They've gone to the hospital, they've gone to imaging centers, they've gone to endoscopy, they've gone to all manner of specialists, and a lot of times they have been through very painful testing, and they've been through the hospital, they've been to the emergency room, and had all kinds of unpleasant procedures. And during most of that time, they felt very out of control because they were not at home. They were outside their environment. They were in a medical setting where they did not have control. So it's understandable that people would be afraid that that is how hospice would be. But hospice is actually the opposite of that. Hospice takes place in your home or in the home of your loved one. It is something where you are in charge. As the caregiver, you are responsible and in charge of what's going on. No one can come in and tell you what to do. As the responsible family member, you have a right to say no. Lots of people have a fear of nurses coming in and telling them that they have to give up all of their medications and start morphine immediately. I can tell you from years of experience with hospice that that is usually and normally not the case. And as a matter of fact, if it happened to you, if you were in your home and a nurse came in and said, this is what we're going to do, and you were not in agreement, you know what? You just fire the nurse. You fire the hospice company. I'm telling you, you're in charge. You are the advocate for the patient. You are the one who is making sure that things are going the way that they should go. If for some crazy reason you got that one nurse that just didn't get it and was going to do something that you were uncomfortable with, all you have to do is say no. If they want to change medications and you're not comfortable with that, you can ask for an explanation, try to understand, and if it's something that you don't agree with, you just say no. Most of the time, hospices understand that they are there to support you. They're there to be part of the team that is caregiving for your loved one. They are not there to boss you around or roll over you and tell you how things have to be. And if you do get unlucky and get that one crazy nurse, you just fire that hospice company. There's nothing to be afraid of because there are hundreds of hospice companies out there that are clamoring to serve you. And every one of them really cares about your loved one and wants them to have the best experience possible. Since hospice is just caregiving in the home with medical professionals, there is really nothing to be afraid of. It isn't like the hospital where people come in and change things and start moving equipment around and doing things to your loved one almost without your knowledge and definitely without your consent sometimes. It is a different experience when it's in your home. The dynamic is very much that you are the team leader and that they are there to support you. Now, my favorite nurses are the ones that really act like your friend, your educator, your confidant, the person who can notice when your loved one is changing and when something needs to be changed. So they're the ones who can tell that maybe there's an infection and it's time to treat that infection. Perhaps a UTI is causing the person that you love to be more difficult to care for. And a good nurse who's in your home on a regular basis is going to be able to tell that that's what's happening and provide you with the right medication. See, not scary. There are so many hospice companies that are out there, and it can be overwhelming. So let's talk about what to ask for. First of all, you're going to want to know, does my loved one have to come off all of their medications? The answer really, most of the time, should be no. Now, there are cases, like when my grandmother was in her end stages, where she could no longer swallow pills. They were crushing a 325 milligram Tylenol and putting it in her mouth. And I mean, I cannot imagine how bad that tasted. I'm sure it really was not helping with the pain. So we did switch to a liquid pain medication in that case. So there are times that medication changes are appropriate, but again, that's going to be something that's always a conversation. It's not going to be something that just happens to you. If you're with a hospice company already and you feel like things are happening to you instead of for you or for your loved one, just switch. It's really easy. You can call the office and ask to be transferred to a different hospice. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos, hospice does not mean that your loved one is going to die in the next few days or hours. As a matter of fact, let me explain something. So a lot of people think that hospice companies want your loved one to die and they're coming to help make that happen. That is not true. So financially speaking, the way that Medicare reimburses hospice companies, it generally takes 10 days of that person being on service to recoup the cost of setting them up for service, renting equipment, getting medication on board, getting the right supplies into the home. And then you've got to consider the time spent by all of the disciplines, because all of the disciplines are taking care of your loved one and are touching base and part of a meeting right there in that first week. So generally speaking, a hospice company loses money if your loved one is on their service for less than 10 days. So that being said, why would they come in and try to get your loved one to pass faster? They wouldn't. We all know that things can happen, and we've all heard stories, but make sure that you do your due diligence. Ask questions. What are the policies for medication that's not covered by the hospice company? Let me tell you that most of the time, you'll be able to have any medication that you want for your loved one. If you want them to stay on cholesterol medicine, even though they're 97 years old and they don't need it, but they want it, that's fine. But you would just pay for it like you normally would through your insurance, paying a copay. The best way for you to be in charge of your loved one's health care is for them to be on hospice services, because that entire team is there to back you up and help make sure that your loved one gets the best help that they can get. I love hospitals for what they can do, but when your loved one cannot be saved, when there is no way to turn around the disease process that they are having and they are going to die, the hospital is really not the best place for them, because hospitals are designed to save your life. Emergency room or emergency department is designed to save your life no matter what pain they might inflict while doing so. Most people who have a long-term illness and a terminal illness want the opposite of that. They want to be in their home environment with their pets and their loved ones, and they want a peaceful passing. And hospice can help you make sure that that happens for your loved one. If for any reason you're not satisfied or happy, like I said, you can change companies or you can stop hospice altogether. If this video has been helpful, I hope that you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss my next upload. I'd love to know what your comments are. I'd love feedback, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye!